Hello nerds! Welcome to Generally Nerdy. This is the Week in Nerdom, your daily source for nerd news updates, and today being Monday, we are talking about music news. This week in music news, we have Killswitch Engage, Rammstein, Tool, a couple of reviews to get out of the way, so without much more ado, let's hit the intro and then we can do all of the things. First off, we're talking a little bit about the channel. As you can see, things have changed slightly, and they're going to continue to change as I perfect the new setup. The intro is new, the music is mostly new, all of everything. Like I said, I've been working for the last 2 months approximately trying to update everything for 2019. I feel like we are to an operational level, but not 100% quite yet, so we'll get there in the next few weeks. Keep your eyes peeled, but let's talk about the news. First, we're talking about Tool. Mr. Maynard James Keenan has made it abundantly clear in the past that he cannot record his vocals because they have been working on a new record for quite some time. He cannot record his vocals without the rest of the band having their parts recorded already. And so he has just within the last week announced that he has finished tracking his vocals, which means we're going to be getting a Tool record this year. No 100% release date on it yet. Very likely it's probably going to be the fall, maybe early winter. If it's sooner than that, oh my god, all the better, but not super likely. There's still the mixing, the mastering, and then production of the physical record, and then all of the other red tape that goes into all that. But it should be done by the end of this year. Nothing has, again, been set in stone, but we are definitely going to be keeping our eyes and ears peeled for that. Next, we're kicking over to Rammstein, who have also officially finished the recording on their new record, and they have announced somewhat of a release date. I couldn't find a specific date, but it's their press release says early April, which is not that far away, so that's super freaking exciting. Any of you watching that happen to be in Europe, they are also kicking off a European tour come May, which means we are potentially going to be seeing a stateside tour by the end of the year, assuming they can talk the parts of the band into coming to the States that really don't like coming to the States, specifically Flock. I'm looking at you, dude. But so that's super exciting. Once they officially announce a release date, we will definitely be talking about it here on the Week in Nerdom. The other really awesome bit of Rammstein news that we have is not only are they releasing their album right about the time that it makes sense to go on the tour, but, and again, the release dates for this were super fuzzy because the release date for the record is kind of fuzzy, though the tour does start in May. Anyway, they're going to also be releasing 5 music videos in correspondence to the release of the record and to promote the tour and all of that. So all kinds of Rammstein is coming our way. Very likely we'll get the first of those music videos before we get the record, and possibly the second music video also will be out before the record launches. So that is definitely something to be looking forward to. Maybe even in March we'll be seeing new videos from Rammstein and new songs to go along with them, obviously. And then our last bit of music news this week, keeping in the recording vein of everything, is Killswitch Engage. They have officially finished, well, at least Jesse Leach, the vocalist, has officially finished tracking his portion of their new record. This will be their first record on Metal Blade since they left Roadrunner and signed with Metal Blade. This will be the first record we get. This also has the strong potential of being one of the most raw and emotional records as far as the vocals go, because as it has been made very public by KsE himself, he's going through a pretty private matter. He's going through a divorce right now, which really sucks for him, and you know, hearts and prayers and all that jazz, KsE. But it kind of, I'm gonna be 100% honest, kind of has me excited about the intensity of this new record and where that could go considering his state of mind. So that's really, really awesome. That is it this week for news. Now let's jump into the music reviews for the week. Before we jump into the reviews though, guys, let me remind you about the Patreon. Patreon.com/generallynerdy is where you can go get more nerdy content. You get 2 monthly Discords, depending on the level to which you subscribe. Contributor and producer credits on each and every video, again, depending on the level to which you subscribe, and so much more. Go check out patreon.com/generallynerdy. And now, the reviews. Okay, before we can actually do anything with reviews this week for music, I gotta kind of walk you through the way reviews are going to go. So, there's going to be 4 different scores. The general score, the overall, how, you know, sometimes the whole is greater than the parts, and sometimes the parts don't equal the whole because so that's why we're breaking it up into 4 different reviews. 4 different scores rather. Each score is going to be out of 100. So a perfect song, album, music video, whatever we're reviewing, can get an overall score of 400. That's not likely to happen because I am a little bit more critical than to give anything a perfect score. I mean, even some of my most favorite music, there's probably less than a handful of songs in the world that I would give a absolute perfect score, and even less records and so on and so forth. So the 4 areas, again, general score is going to be the first one, and then the other 3 scores are going to greatly depend on what it is that we're reviewing. If it's a song, we're going to break down the how it compares to the rest of the record, how it compares to other stuff that the artist has done in the past, depending on which one is more relevant. Then we're also going to be doing an enjoyability score. That's going to be pretty much universal throughout, aside from the general score, the enjoyability score. Those are the only 2 that are pretty much on every review that we're going to be doing throughout all of the different videos as well. So enjoyability, and then if it's an album, we're going to break it down as it compares to its genre. We're also going to be breaking it down as far as the technicality of the musicianship, how well it is executed, the actual performance of the music itself. Even if it's not super technical, you can still perform it well and convey your meaning or your message or the emotion you're trying to convey very, very well, even if it's simple 3-chord punk rock song. So there's that. And then if it's a music video, is the music video done well? Does it enhance the song? Does it detract from the song? That kind of stuff. So 4 scores. I will tell you which scores we are doing for each piece as we go through them. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really, really not. Just stay in it with me, and you'll see. I feel like this is the most comprehensive way I can do a review for anything, hence why this is how we're doing reviews. So, without any further ado, we're going to be talking about a band, and specifically one song that this band has put out. And then the second review will also be a song, but it's going to be a music video. So, the first review we're doing is from a band called Bias. The song is called Pity, and the reason we're doing this is because we've actually talked about this band in the past. Kind of. Couple of the members were in another band called Core 10. Oh, I just remembered. Thank you, memory. Core 10 was the name of the previous band, and if you'll remember, that is the project that David Silveria, the original drummer from Korn, was doing, and it was really bad. Like, unfreaking listenable. And if I like a genre, I've said this before, if I like a genre, I tend to like the mediocre acts in that genre. So if I don't even like it, and nu metal is definitely a genre I wholeheartedly like, as long as it's good. I've kind of fallen out of the mediocre stuff, though I do still listen to some Korn in their middle years. Not anything new, unfortunately, because they just have really fallen off, but we're bird walking. So, after Core 10 dissolved, David and one of the other guys from the band, it's irrelevant because it's not very good still, stayed together. I think actually it was two other guys from that band stayed together. They got a new vocalist, and now they're calling themselves Bias. This song is Pity. This is one of two songs that they just released off of their forthcoming album. This is definitely a step up in quality from the Core 10 stuff that they did, which again was really garbage. This song, though, Pity, is... If this is the best indication, and I haven't listened to the other track, I just listened to this one, so there might be some variation between the two, but if this is the best indication of their sound, then David is just trying to recreate Korn. It's that simple. This vocalist often is kind of, hey, that kind of sort of sounds like Jonathan Davis. And at other times it's like, holy cow, does Jonathan Davis do guest vocals on this track? Because that could be his vocal twin. It's nu metal by numbers. There's nothing new under the sun in this song. There is one sonically interesting section that they throw in twice. Otherwise, it's just ABC song structure, just like a pop song. Production value, though, again, it sounds like they've stepped that up. They've brought in an actual producer and not just some kid they pulled off the street. This is definitely a song that you could hear on rock radio or active rock stations, because, you know, that's a thing now. But I can't subscribe to this. So general score for the song, we're looking at about a 60 out of 10. In comparison, or 60 out of 100, in comparison to other songs in the genre. We can't really compare it to other songs in the album because, again, they've only released two, and I didn't listen to the other one. So, comparing it to other songs in the genre, it's, again, about a 60 out of 10 because just paint by numbers. You have to do something new in order to make this sonically interesting, or even execute what's already there a little bit better, but that's whatever. As far as the writing, the musicianship, the performing of the music on the track, that's even lower because the bass, it's partially due to the production. It sounds like this producer is not super familiar with aggressive styles of music. The bass gets swallowed up. The guitar is pretty kind of mediocre. It's really muddy, but that could also be execution with the guitar player's left hand. So 50 out of 100 there. And then as far as the enjoyability factor, again, this sounds like radio rock, so it's got a catchiness to it, which ups the enjoyability by a little bit, but not by much. We're looking at about a 65 out of 100 for enjoyability. So overall, not very good. Which now brings us to our next music review for the week. We are talking about a new-ish video from Gogol Bordello. You can check out my live review from their New Year's Eve shows if you follow the link there or down in the description. This song, so they put out a record in August. Gogol Bordello put out a record in August, and it's called Seekers and Finders. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Called Seekers and Finders, and I really like Gogol Bordello. I've listened to this whole record at this point, and the first half of the record it sounds like a band trying to cover Gogol Bordello, or a band trying to write the songs that Gogol would have thrown away 10 years ago. The second half of the record is fantastic. This song comes from the first half of the record. It's not bad. I don't want to convey that I think this is a bad song. This is just not a very good Gogol song. But as far as, since this is for the music video specifically, you can find that link in the description as well. The music video, is even more boring than the actual song, I feel like, which kind of detracts from what could be a decent song, and now it's just kind of a blah, mediocre song. So, as far as general score, we're looking at 70 out of 100. As far as video quality, so the cinematography, are they trying to tell a story at all? They're not. This is just performance footage, and I use the air quotes for performance footage because some of this footage is actual performance footage and some of this is staged to look like performance footage, and it's very obvious between the two in multiple ways. It's colored differently. Obviously, Eugene is sweating his ass off in some of it because he's just a sweaty dude. You can go check the Instagram and see the pictures I shot the show. I don't think there's a single picture of Eugene dry. So yeah, the video does not do anything crazy good for me. So quality there, we're looking at 60 out of 100. And then as far as does it enhance the song, does it build up the song? I've already kind of buried the lead on that one. Absolutely not. It detracts from the song. So again, we're looking at 60 out of 100. And then enjoyability. Like I said, it's Gogol Bordello, so it's not going to get super low on this scale. I really don't think Gogol can do a bad song. They can do mediocre, and they have, again, the first half of this record is a clear example of them doing mediocre. So as far as enjoyability overall, I feel like it's always a fun time listening to Gogol. It's good gypsy punk party music, something that gets you going. Even this slower pace, lower BPM style song that they've done here. And I also forgot to mention it's featuring Regina Spektor, so that kind of factors into why it's a slower song, because I don't know that she's done a whole lot of super invigorating, upbeat music. I'm not super familiar with her catalog, so I can't say that 100%, but that's just kind of the bit I've heard of her. That's what it seems like, so I feel like that could factor into this. But yeah, so overall enjoyability of the video and the song together, I'm gonna be generous on this one, give it about an 80 over 100. So that's not a horrible score, but it could have been much better, much better. And that, guys, is where I'm going to end this week's update. What did I miss? What should we talk about next week? Is there something you want me to review? Definitely let me know down in the comments below. If, though, you want to go deeper in the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. That is the place to go, get all of the stuff, get in deeper in the conversation. You can go check out the general store tab at the top of the website, take it to the nerdy stores, and you can go see some of the new merch that I've been putting up. I've put up a lot of merch in the last 2 months, so definitely go check that out. If this is your first time visiting Generally Nerdy, then please don't forget to subscribe or follow, depending on which platform you're listening on. Definitely click that like button if you like what I'm trying to do, or the dislike button, whatever. Just let me know you're listening out there. And before we go, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.